Students, in continuation of previous lesson in which we considered speed and velocity in details and got the idea of uniform and non-uniform motions, today we will understand acceleration of an object during its non-uniform motion and also see how motion of an object can be expressed graphically. First, consider the velocity time graph for uniform motion. In graph, you can see the time is plotted on x-axis and velocity on y-axis. Here, the velocity v is uniform or constant. The displacement of the object in time interval t2 minus t1, that is delta t, is AB into BD, which is equal to delta t into V. So we find that the displacement of an object in time interval delta t is numerically equal to the area under the curve in velocity time graph between the instants t1 and t2. Now see the position time graph for uniform motion. In the graph, time is plotted along x-axis and position along y-axis. You can see the displacement is BC, which is equal to x2 minus x1 or delta x. In time interval, AC is equal to t2 minus t1 or delta t. As velocity v is equal to x2 minus x1 by t2 minus t1, which is equal to delta x by delta t. In the graph, it is BC by AC, which is equal to tan alpha. Or velocity is equal to slope of the position time curve. Here we see that the velocity of an object in uniform motion is numerically equal to the slope of the position time graph. So in uniform motion, we can obtain magnitude of displacement from velocity time graph and magnitude of velocity from position time graph. Next we see acceleration, which is the characteristic of non-uniform or variable velocity. Acceleration of a moving object is the rate of change of velocity of the object. It is equal to change in velocity divided by time taken for this change. It is also a vector quantity like displacement and velocity. Acceleration is positive when velocity is increasing and it is negative when velocity is decreasing. Negative acceleration is called retardation or deceleration. Its unit is meter per second square and dimension is m to the power 0 L t to the power minus 2 or simply L t to the power minus 2. A moving object is said to have uniform acceleration if there is equal change in its velocity in equal intervals of time. Whereas a moving object have a variable acceleration if there is unequal change in its velocity in equal intervals of time. When object have variable acceleration, we can find its average value. The average acceleration of a moving object is the ratio of total change in its velocity to the total time taken. During variable motion, we can also observe instantaneous acceleration. The acceleration of a moving object at an instant of time or at a given point of motion is called instantaneous acceleration. Let us now consider an object moving with a variable velocity along a straight line. Let v and v plus delta v be the velocities at instants t and t plus delta t, where delta t is very small time interval approximately equal to 0. So v plus delta v minus v divided by t plus delta t minus t is equal to delta v by delta t. It is the acceleration in time interval delta t. In the graph, you can see the slope of the curve BC by AC, which is equal to tan alpha, is equal to delta V by delta T. And instantaneous acceleration is limit delta T tending to 0, delta V by delta T, which is equal to dV by dt. In a previous lesson, we have already seen that V is equal to dx by dt. Therefore, instantaneous acceleration is equal to d dt of dx dt, or it is equal to d2x by dt square. So, we see that instantaneous acceleration is the first time derivative of velocity and it is second time derivative of displacement. In the graph, you can see when point B approaches to point A and comes so close to A such that time interval delta t becomes extremely close to 0, then the value of the variable along y-axis becomes instantaneous value, as it is here instantaneous acceleration. And we have already considered the instantaneous velocity in the previous lesson. So I hope the meaning of the expression in terms of derivative is now clear to you. For understanding different situations of motion through graph, look at the velocity time graph in which various curves are plotted. The curve AB represents constant velocity and hence zero acceleration. OC represents constant positive acceleration with zero initial velocity. And DE also represents constant positive acceleration but with some initial velocity OD is equal to U. Curve FG represents constant negative acceleration or retardation. OH with decreasing slope represents decreasing acceleration, and OI with increasing slope represents increasing acceleration. I hope with this the graphical representation of motion becomes clear. Now see the velocity time graph of a uniformly accelerated motion in which acceleration is equal to v2 minus v1 by t2 minus t1, which is equal to bc by ac. Acceleration is numerically equal to the slope of the straight line AB. Now the distance travelled is equal to average velocity into time interval, which is equal to v1 plus v2 by 2 into t2 minus t1. So it is equal to half am plus bn into mn, which is the area of the trapezium ABNM. So from velocity time graph of uniformly accelerated motion, we can obtain the magnitude of acceleration from the slope of the curve, and the area under the curve gives the magnitude of distance travelled in certain time interval. So we see that graphical representation provides information about the nature of the motion, and we can find the magnitude of the various quantities related to motion. Here we have to remember one thing, that position and displacement can actually be traced on the graph, as position or location is shown by a point in a graph, while displacement, being length or distance between initial and final positions, is shown by a line or curve. Whereas the velocity and acceleration are only represented through the graph. It provides their magnitudes only. These are not actually plotted. Instead, these are simply represented. With this information, I am ending the lesson today. In the next lesson, we will use the velocity time graph to derive the well-known equations of motion and use them to solve some numerical problems. See you in the next class.